Okay, we've talked about the back leg. Now let's talk about the front side, and we'll cover the back arm last. What you really want to feel out of the front side, Nick, is that it stays square for as long as possible. Okay. Um, if you watch Manny, again, he starts, foot is square, knee is square to the pitcher, the hip is square, front shoulder square, and the eyes are back behind the ball. Okay. When he lands, everything's in basically the same position. Okay, the foot is square, the knee is still square. It's also slightly bent. You start with it slightly bent. When you land, the front knee is still slightly bent. The hips are still square when you land. The front shoulder is still square when you land. Okay. Um, if we look at you, we're seeing, as the heel lands, okay, Nick, we're seeing number one, the front foot starts to open on us just a little bit as you come down. Okay, and front shoulders opening a little bit. You're still in pretty good position there, though. But the more squared off you can be with that front side, and the less opening we get with the front side, the better. One thing that you see, Manny's front foot lands. It's toe heel. The toe hits first, but it's almost at the same time. I mean, it's toe heel, boom, boom. Whereas you're really kind of trying to stay on that toe. I'd like for you to quit trying to stay on the toe when you land and just let the whole foot land as you come down. And again, that goes back to that same cue of letting the back leg be in control. Back leg pulls it up. The back leg presses the whole foot down as it fires to the ball. Okay, so that's what we want to feel. We want to feel like the back leg presses the whole foot down at the same time. We don't want to feel like we're out here, stepping on thin ice with this toe up in the air. Okay, just let the heel drop. Okay, and so that really is the key to the front side is feeling unchanged. Letting the back leg be in control, letting the back side be in control of the swing, and we're really trying to hit against that stable front side. Um, the other thing that we want to see, um, a little bit more of out of the front side is we want to feel, and I mentioned this in the last clip, a little bit more tilt and less turn out of the shoulder. Okay, want to feel like our shoulder stays back behind the ball. Okay, so as we go through here, you can see how Manny at this point, still his chest is still facing the camera. Shoulders have not turned much, but they've created some tilt. Okay, and you can see how your shoulders are already out on the pitcher. So we want more tilt here and less turn, okay, through the ball. I think this is a good shot here of, you know, we have shoulder tilt, but we don't want to turn through it. And you're not too bad there. You're not flying off of the ball. That's really not a bad move at it. Really, again, we're comparing you to the greatest swing of all time. An 11-year-old kid to the greatest swing of all time. You're matching up real good in a lot of areas. But what we want here out of the front side is, really land the same way we started. Don't fly open on the front side. Okay. See how your knee starts to flare when that toe comes down? Compare that to what Manny's knee is doing. We don't want to see that flaring open. You just want to press into that solid front side and stay square. Okay, we've covered back leg and front side. Now let's talk about the back arm. And again, the way you really want to view the back arm is that it's making that sidearm throw at the baseball. You really want to feel that out of the glove action as the elbow lifts, the elbow slots to the ball, and that top hand is throwing the barrel at the ball. So we really want to kind of learn to feel that back arm get out of the glove, elbow to the ball, and really throw the barrel at it. Good sidearm throwing action. Okay, taking a look at you here, Nick. Um, and you're doing a better job than most kids at keeping that barrel up as the elbow slots. If you look at this frame right here, you're keeping a nice, good diagonal with the barrel. You're matching up, pretty good with what is Mike Piazza, the best hitting catcher of all time. Looks like there. So you're keeping, and that's what we want. We want to feel like, we're taking that bat and the ball's out in front of us, and we want to make this diagonal downward throw of the barrel. Really want to feel like we're throwing downward diagonally at it. Um, and you're doing a pretty good job of the slotting here and keeping that barrel up. Manny's a little bit, he's a little bit more stacked than you are there, but it's not a bad position. So, again from here, you've got the barrel above the ball, and you want to throw the barrel down and diagonal. Hit behind that front side and throw the barrel down and diagonal at it. Okay, so your back arm's working pretty good. You're nice and loose before the throw. I want you to keep that. Make sure you're keeping this nice looseness, nice and fluid, getting that arm ready to make that sidearm throw with the barrel. But again, I think your biggest thing, Nick, your swing is great, but I think being aware of what your body is doing is gonna be the biggest thing to help you. Okay, so let's look at what your back arm is doing. If we look at Piazza, what we want to feel out of the elbow is the first move is a little bit of up move as the elbow works up, and then we want to feel that elbow work straight to the ball right there. Okay, so there's a little bit of up move and then to the ball. If you look at Manny, you'll see the same thing. You see the elbow work up and then to the ball. So one of the best ways to kind of get that thing perfect is to kind of learn to attack the ball with the elbow instead of your bat or your hands. Really feel the barrel work up. Feel the elbow work up and then to the ball there. Okay, so if we're looking at your move here, as you get started, we could probably see a little bit more lifting. You can see Piazza's there. It's not a big move, but you're kind of, pinching back, and there we could have a little bit more out of the glove lifting action. Okay. Now, of course, both of you slot to the ball. Everybody's going to slot to the ball, and you do a pretty good job there. Your bat is up much more than most kids are, so you're doing a good job there. But if you look at Piazza, you can really see how the elbow works up into the ball, and his bat and his hand haven't even really moved, haven't really changed position. Okay, in other words, the elbow works up into the ball, the hand is still right in front of the shoulder, and the barrel is straight up and down, in this position. Okay, and if you take a look at where the hand is, it's right in front of the shoulder, and that palm is still facing the pitcher, right out there. Your palm is doing a pretty good job there, Nick, better than most, of facing the pitcher. A lot of kids at this point in time, their palm will be pointing up here to the sky. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to try to be able to move that elbow up into the ball without the hands traveling much. So as your elbow works in, your hands are kind of dropping a little bit and they're coming forward just a little bit. If you could be able to work that elbow up into the ball, make those two moves, and kind of leave the hand and bat in the same spot, that's what we want. Again, like I say, that comes from kind of trying to hit the ball with the elbow, leaving the hands back. If you look at Manny, you can really see how that elbow works to the ball, and his hands are still back here in the same position. The bat right here, and those hands are still basically where he started them, right in front of his shoulder. And that palm, is still out here facing the pitcher. If you look at your hand position, you can see it's lower. Your palm has started to kind of, face up a little bit, which we don't want. Okay, and your bat has flattened out here. It gets heavier. The more you lay it back here, the heavier it gets. Okay, so again, what you want to feel is let that elbow work up into the ball, and those hands really stay in the same spot. And then if you look at Manny again, he's got that great position. He drives into that front side, but hits against and behind that wall on the front side there.